Hey everybody, I hope you all are doing well and welcome back to Michael's Matters. And of course, as is the practice, I am Michael. Hi and hello. And lately, I'm not sure if it's maybe the time of the year or there's something in the water, but there are a lot of surveys that are coming out regarding Social Security. And it's actually really interesting to compare what those surveyed anticipate about retiring, like when they will retire, versus when most people actually retire, or whether or not retirement is even a realistic expectation for most Americans. That being said, most Americans 65 years and older do end up on one of the Social Security programs like Social Security Retirement, which is obviously the largest, but also Social Security Disability SSDI, Survivors, Spousal Benefits, Supplemental Security Income SSI, and really all the other iterations of Social Security. So today we are talking about what Americans think about retirement, when they think they can retire, and when they want to retire, and when they actually do. Now, this is Michael's Matters, and before we get to the video, if you like these videos, if you find them interesting, if you find them helpful, or at least maybe useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe because it really does help the channel to grow, and we are so thankful for that. But also, you get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. All right, now, let's get down to the video. So let's start today off with a survey that was done earlier this year, 2023 that is, by Axios that surveyed about 1,238 adults who were 18 years or older, of which 210 were over the age of 55 years old. Axios asked them about what their expectations were for retirement, and one of the prime questions was whether or not they thought they would be able to retire at all. When questioned about this, it came out that about 20% of them said that they did not expect to ever retire. And 70% of those folks who said that they would not expect to ever retire is because they didn't think that they would ever be able to afford it. To add on to that, most of those workers said that they did not expect Social Security benefits to cover their expenses in retirement. Now, the reasons for these sentiments, well, they seem like some are based in a mixture of reality and urban Social Security legends in some way. The current Social Security overview is that in the United States, 90% of the people over the age of 65 years old are actually receiving some sort of Social Security benefit. As a whole, Social Security benefits represent about 50% of the monthly benefits for 53% of married couples and 74% of unmarried couples. And as a much smaller but still significant number of Americans, 23% of married couples and 46% of unmarried persons say that Social Security benefits represent 90% of their monthly income. Needless to say, Social Security is a lifeline that helps a majority of people over the age of 65 or who are not able any longer to work to try to help them to make ends meet. So why is there such gloom in the expectations for these folks who were surveyed? I think first things first, there have been really a slew of discouraging reports from official government entities who monitor the status of Social Security benefits, like, the Social Security Trust Fund report, that indicates that on its current trajectory, Social Security will not be able to pay out 100% of its benefits as usual by as soon as 2033, which is definitely concerning. Next is the fact that the rate of inflation over the last couple of years since the close of the pandemic has been very high. And yes, it is going down now, which is good, but inflation overall is not good for Social Security beneficiaries. The reasons why Social Security beneficiaries are affected more than others, we can get into another video, but the long and the short of it is that as inflation goes up on more things that seniors buy, well, that inflation is going up on more things than the COLA, or the cost of living adjustment, is calculated on. So the increases don't get adequately calculated and increased on a year-to-year basis. So when inflation does go up, the cost of living adjustment goes up, but not the same or correct amount. This is more evident than ever, especially right now, when we look at how benefits had been adjusted over the last 5 years. And according to the Senior Citizen League, a nonpartisan senior advocate group, these increases have left seniors shortchanged for a majority of those last 5 years. Lastly for today, it is important to look at where the political and legislative discussion is at, because undoubtedly it's going to have a pretty dire effect on what Americans, what we think as a whole about retirement. Because many of the solutions that are being floated out there by both Democrats and Republicans involve some sort of cut to benefits, either an increase in the retirement age, which if implemented, of course it is more true with Social Security benefits than anything else, is that time is equal to money, so it is a cut. But there are also things like means testing that would limit people with higher incomes from having Social Security benefits, or that old tune about privatizing Social Security, which, has its own pluses and minuses. Whichever the solution is that is being presented, the end result is the same, is that those folks who are not yet retired, usually would either work longer or get paid less benefit. So it totally makes sense that anyone would say, well, I'm just not going to be able to retire ever because it won't matter by the time I get there anyways, because the benefits will be so small, or it's going to be so long that I may not ever get there. And this perspective gets stronger and stronger as you move down the age ladder to people who are in their 40s and 30s and maybe even 20s. So overall, I think that these types of surveys are really a great expression of where current non-retired Americans' heads are at for Social Security. They're also good because they show folks, even if they are pessimistic about it, it shows that folks are actually thinking about it. And really, there is no such thing as bad press, but just the fact that it's out there and it's getting some of the spotlight, like in the most recent debt ceiling fight, where it was a key issue. Social Security was one of the main bargaining points. This is when actual changes happen to massive programs like Social Security or maybe Medicare or VA or other programs like that, because they actually get pressure put upon them to become more efficient and ultimately fall in line with what the needs of the American people are that those programs serve. All right, so that's it for today's Michael's Matters, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, if you found it interesting, if you found it helpful, or if you at least found it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel to grow, and we are so thankful for that. But also because you get updates when our newest and most informative videos come out. So for Michael's Matters, I'm Michael, hoping that you take care of yourselves, take care of others, and have a happy, healthy day.